Good morning, honorable members. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Honorable Chair.
Good morning, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning also to the officials that have joined us. It's exactly 11 o'clock. Honorable members, let us observe a moment of silence before we start with our proceedings. Thank you very much. Members, good morning and welcome to everybody on the platform. Master Mkize, can you just ask, do we meet the quorum?
Morning, honorable members and colleagues. We do meet a quorum for this meeting, Chair. You can go ahead. Thanks. That's all, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mkize, and thank you for verifying that. Honorable members, we have the informal session today just for us to be taken through in terms of the petitions, e-petitions that Parliament has. Now you recall that we've been on this journey to transform the petition system in Parliament to make it accessible. Applicants are able to petition Parliament, but most important to monitor progress on their petitions and see how we as a committee and as Parliament, we are dealing with petitions. Now, Parliament, then we made some follow-up. We were then told that there is a system that Parliament is working on in terms of handling petitions. Normally what happens is some petitioners will write to the chairperson of the NCOP. Normally in email, they send their petition. It could be in a Word document. They can write it in an email form. Then they send it to the chair's office. Now, the chair's office in the background, they will check, is this thing factual? Does this meet the criteria for Parliament to consider the petition? And then they will refer the petition to the Petitions Committee. And that's where we get involved in. And then we go through, like we've done with the current petition that we have. Now, what this will assist us, this will make sure that people can log onto the website of Parliament and then load their petitions there. And they are also able to track progress of the petition. But without further ado, I will move over to the presenters from the ICT to take us through how the system will work so that we can also share this information with our constituents and members of the public. Mr. Mkhizel, just assist me who's gonna handle the presentation.
Yes, Chair. Unamhla, you will be leading us on the presentation.
Unamhla.
Yes.
Okay, over to you, Namhla. Please go forward.
Thank you so much, honorable members, and also to you, Babu Mkhize. I won't be the one who's going to be doing the presentation. We have from ICT, we do have our leader, or well, the right word is the manager. We do have our manager who will be leading us regarding that presentation. That is Mr. Zandisile Msichana. So he'll be leading us on that. Mr. Msichana, over to you, sir.
Good morning, Chair. Just so you know who you're talking to, I'll switch on my camera for a minute. My name is Zandisile Msichana. I'm the manager for applications within ICT in Parliament. We were asked to try and automate the petitions process so that people are able to log petitions online and be able to get constant feedback from Parliament. And I'll be demonstrating to you what we've done so far. Just as a matter of background, I'll switch off my camera and I'll share my screen. Okay, I'll share my screen. Can you just confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see
Yes,
your
sir.
screen. You can see channel.
Okay. So currently this is what is happening. This is the current Parliament website without the online petitions. But what we are then planning to do is to say from this bar, currently you have that takes you to petitions. So currently there's all that information. It's static information that tells you how to submit a Parliament and how to submit a petition to Parliament. So this will be changing. It's currently being reviewed by the tables, and they'll be including somewhere here where you can click and go and be able to lodge a petition with Parliament. That's the one way of doing it from the Parliament website. There's also under the current website, under Have Your Say, we currently have all that information there that says how to make a submission to Parliament, and in particular how you write a petition. This information is also being under review, and that will then contain a link to the system. So once we are live, then people can actually go to petitions from the two places on the website. Then I'll close this one and then I'll show you how it's gonna be looking. Sorry. So this is what the system is going to be looking like. Let me just rearrange my screen. This is what it's gonna look like. So you can see it really looks like the current website. So there will be seamless integration between the current website and the online platform for petitions. So once you click on that link that we'll be putting on the 2 entry points on our website, then you will come here. And it will show you and it will give you that information about petitions, and it will have a menu there. We're customizing it so that you are able to only zoom in on your petitions. So my petitions will zoom in on the petitions for the specific people that is logged on. So for that, you need to have an account and you need to log on with your account. And then this is where you lodge a petition, irrespective of whether you registered or not. And then this will give you a list of all petitions. If you go there, that will tell you how many petitions. I must just warn you that this is test, and so we're not very good at doing petitions. So what you see is simply just a concept and not real petition. So if you go there on the all petitions, it will show you all the petitions that are currently being that are under Parliament. It will give you the title of the petition. If you are petitioning for an organization, as an example, then it will give you the principal petitioner there, and it will give you the status of that petition so that the public can know what is currently being looked at in Parliament in terms of petitions. Then you can then start lodging a petition. But before we do that, let me just do a quick, I don't want to get into details there because it's really got some internal ways of working that may not, I don't think the committee will actually be interested in that, but this is basically the workflow. Okay, I'm just gonna spend 2 minutes to just say what is happening. So basically, in this workflow, you create a petition. The user, like you are seeing now, I'm the user. I'm creating a petition, and that petition will then come into Parliament after you filled in all the details. And then it will be reviewed in Parliament by the officials, and it will have a status of petition received so that the user knows that the petition has actually gone into Parliament. But at that point, they've got an option to withdraw it. But the officials can still validate this, and at a point when it's validated, then it will have a status. It will update the user. At any point where there's a status change, the petitioner will be notified, and there'll be a message accordingly. So it will be validated. It will have that status of validation. Now, at that point, when it's been validated, then it can be rejected. Obviously, the officials will look at the details, whether it actually qualifies as a petition, and then they'll reject it. If they reject it, then that's the end of the process. But if then it continues, there might be instances where the officials feel like maybe the user is talking about something that has gone to court, and then maybe maybe the committee would want to just get the court judgment attached, and so they can ask the user for that. So once they are done with all that information, then it's ready to go to the committee. Then it will be referred to the committee for processing. Then the committee, we've just allowed for the committee to request more information if necessary. But if everything is okay, then the process can be processed. The petition can be processed and adopted, and then there would be a report on that petition. And once that report is adopted, then it can be referred to the programming office for scheduling, and then there'll be a House resolution accordingly. And once the House resolution is taken, then the officials will then just collate all the documentation, and maybe put the minutes of the proceedings, all of those things, and send through and complete the process. So that's basically the part, the way we've automated it. So how does it work in practical terms? That's where I'll be going next. So what happens is then you've got the petitioner. I'm the petitioner here. If I go to here, I'm not logged in. So if I go to my petition, oh, sorry, I'm already logged in. If I go to my petitions, then out of the 15 petitions that were there, then you will just give me the ones that belong to me, and we can work on that. So when you then, you can basically have a look at all your petitions at once, and we're able to make informed decisions as to what you want to do next. Now, if I were to lodge a new petition, I would just go and lodge a new petition. Now, the process is basically about it's 6 steps really. But because I'm already registered, it's 5 steps, because the step where it asks for my information has already been done. But if I was a new petitioner, then I would get 6 steps. And the 6th step is simply to say, who are you, what organization are you representing, so that you are able to communicate. So it requires the contact details of the petitioner. So the process will guide you. We try to make it as simple as possible, and you can then see that as you are now in process 1, where you want the petition detail. If I were to make a demonstration, if I can say this is a demo petition, and the petition is about please put municipality of the, say, of Tanin as an example. I'm not trying to imply anything here. Under administration. Administration. Okay, just to say, Chair, in terms of whether it's the right or wrong petition, can we all assume that it's right at this point? Because I'm not a normal petitioner. This is just for demo purposes. So I can say I'm doing this petition, and you need to then, the petition is going to cater for both houses. So you could go to the NA, you could go to the NCOP. In this case, because I'm dealing with the NCOP, that's what I'm going to choose. Sorry. Then you can see now the process has you've finished step 1, you go to step 2, and this is now the petition details. Okay, so it will say describe your petitions and the issues that are being experienced. Can I just copy and paste this so that just for demo purposes, they'll be putting a proper description there? And then you can also say what is the intervention that you require from Parliament. So maybe they say the community requires the NCOP to intervene and put the municipality under administration and of section, and they put the section, and so it continues. And then so basically it will give you some leeway to basically try and describe what it is that you are trying to do. Let me just, okay, let's not worry about the spellings and all of that. And then you go now next to the next page. Then this is basically the checklist to say, are you representing an organization? If I was, then I would say, yes, I am representing the community of the name Ward 1 to 30 as an example. And then do you have any signatures that so say the user had collected some signatures, and then they can say yes, and then where have you taken the complaint before? Then I could say maybe not applicable. Say this is the power only applicable to the NCOP, and therefore I can't really take it anywhere. Now the user can add any documentation here. They can say, okay, I want to choose a file. Sorry, I want to choose a file, and I can, let me just, okay, I'll just choose any file, and so you can see the file now is attached. If there's other files, then also those can be attached. And if you want to add more files, you can add more. So the system will allow you to upload all of those. Then you're ready for the next step. Now you are in step 3. You want to go now to step 4. Now, step 4 is allowing you to get all the other attachments that you would have wanted to do. Say there's some court judgment supporting documents that you want to attach. You can do that like you did with the others. I can add all of those and add them. So now I'm ready with all my files. I'm ready to submit now. I'm in the last stages of my petition, but you can still go back if there's something that you forgot. So this is just a security feature to see that you're not a robot and trying to hack into the website. And then you then submit. So remember the user had six petitions. So now they submit the second one. Then the system will tell them, thank you for submitting this petition. And if you see now, the number of petitions has gone up. And if you go to those petitions, you can see that that petition, which we have just loaded, it's got a reference number. This is simply to make sure that we have a unique reference for each petition. And then but at this stage, if you remember the workflow, at this stage you can withdraw. So if the member wanted to withdraw, that's what they would do. If the petitioner wanted to withdraw, that's what they would do there. But we're not going to be withdrawing. We're going to be moving along with with the workflow. Now the workflow is in Parliament with all the documents. Okay, so if I were to go now and just okay, this is an internal system, so I wasn't very sure if you really need to see this, but just so that you know what is happening inside. So here I'm going to be coming in as one of the administrators who are going to receive the petition. And what they will have is so we've got sort of something that acts more like an email system. So you'll see now that there's something that is draft, which is this petition that we're talking about. And now if you go to the user themselves, if, for instance, someone were to go and just have a look at all the petitions, you'll see that petitions are still 15. The reason is because that petition, although it's gone through, it hasn't been validated as a petition. It may well be withdrawn, it may well be rejected, but the user is able to see that it has gone through, but nobody else can see that it has gone through. It doesn't show on your list of petitions. Now, then the administrator looks at the petition and then he'll also see the kind of documents that are attached to that petition, and then decide if now it's valid. So let's assume that now he says it's valid. So he'll then go and change the add a comment. Oops, sorry. He'll add a comment. He'll validate the petition. Okay, so now what happens is you'll notice now that
President, I think there's when you validate, there's where you can put in the comment, then it will go to the next stage.
oh, sorry. Yeah, that's I was trying to put a comment. Gavin?
Go back and then say validate, and then it will give you a screen to put in the comment.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, got it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the petition has been approved. So it can go through the process and then submit that. Okay, and then so now you'll notice now that it has moved from being a draft now, because now it's a petition of Parliament. If you now go to the user, what will the user be seeing? If you go to my petitions and you go to this petition, you'll notice now that the status has changed to validation. So the user is kept abreast of all the changes during the process. Now, if we continue processing that, just to say for the members, remember you are part of what the user also sees. Let me just go to the user's email. You'll also notice that now the user got an acknowledgement from Parliament that this petition was lodged, and they also get an update of the status to say now it's moved from petition received to validation. Okay, so now then they can continue with the process to process this petition. Now what you want to do is now you want to refer it to committee. So you refer to committee, and then you choose the committee that you want to refer to. And this is the committee on, sorry, what's your committee, Kanyiso? This one? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that is on petitions.
Yeah. And then you say a petition referred to the select committee on, can I just say select committee on petitions? And then I'll just submit. Once you do that, then the status has changed, and therefore you'll notice that petition is no longer there with the table. Now it's gone to Kanyiso. So, but what is the user seeing? The user is seeing here, if the user refreshes their screen, then it will tell the user that the petition is now with the committee for referral. And then also the comment that was put in there will also show. So the administrators need to put comments that are informative to the user. So what you would have emailed, then you no longer need to, but the system still caters for you to get, you still get an update to say your petition has moved from being validated to a committee referral. Okay. Now they continue. I remember this could be through like a couple of months, up to 6 months, and now the petition is with the committee secretary. So I'll log out as the NCOP administrator, and then I log in as Mr. Mkize. Okay, so now because committee secretaries can be working for different groups, they need to go to the specific committee that they are working on. For instance, they could be working with some ad hoc committees that have been created to deal with something in Parliament. So now they need to go to the specific committee so that we don't mix committee material. Now you can see that they've received now this petition that we've just done, and now they are able to basically update the user. Now, whatever happens during the processing of that committee, it can still be logged so that the committee knows what happened on what day. So as an example, you can add a comment here. Sorry. I keep pressing the wrong one. He can add the comments that he wants to add, but when the whole thing is done, is finished with the committee, then he'll be able to change the status of that when the committee has processed it and adopted the report. He'll be able to change the status from committee referral to the report adoption. So you can see he can go there and he can then say there was a report that was adopted. This is just the option for the committee to request information if needed. But if not, then it just goes to adopt the report. So if now we were to adopt the report, then you could then inform the user that the committee adopted a report which was sent to the NCOP for scheduling. But the you could basically have anything there that is informing the user, and you can then also just did I add adopt report? Yeah, and then you can just set. Oops, sorry. The committee adopted a report and sent it to the NCOP for scheduling. Okay, then you can then just submit. So what does the user see? The user is sitting at home, and the last time the petition was referred to the committee, and when they now refresh, then they can see that the report has been adopted, and then they can also get the narrative that says what happened to the report. Then also in terms of the emails, the petitioner is kept up to date. This also includes the SMS. It's just that I'm not able to show SMSs from my phone, but I am getting these SMSs as they come through. The emails are the equivalent of the email. It's just in SMS format to say your petition is now at this stage. Okay, so now let's go back. Now you can see now that it's gone from Nkanyiso, and now it's back with the table. And if I log in and I am in the NCOP, sorry. So you can see now it's back with the NCOP because now it's ready for scheduling. And then they look at the report. Obviously, it would have been ATC'd and all the other things. And all they are going to then do is to say, I want to send this to the schedule, to the programming committee for scheduling. And then to change that status and say send to the programming committee for scheduling. Okay, and then maybe they can even specify that a report included in ATC 113, page 356, and they can put all sorts of things there and then submit. Okay, so now again, because the the status has changed. The user is able to see what has happened, because the last time they knew it was going from the committee to the house. But now if they refresh, now they'll see that it's going to the programming office and it was sent on such and such a day and is included in the ATC. Then if they then continue, now the programming committee sits and then they schedule this petition, they schedule the report to be debated in the House for a specific day. And then the administrator will be able to say, this is under House configuration, and it was scheduled for the sitting of 12 May. I'm sorry about the noise. There seemed to be some work on 90 plane 2025, and then they'll be able to submit that. So now the House then sits again, like I'm saying, at any point in time, your user is being updated as to where this thing is happening. They could even say to the user, please watch the sitting of the 22nd of May, and sorry, I got my dates wrong there, but they could put all the relevant information there. Again, also on email, they are getting an update there as well to say, now your petition has been updated. It's now at that stage, as well as an SMS. Then the last bit now is, sorry, that would be, under schedule. That would be under schedule because it has gone to the programming committee and it's scheduled for that specific date. Then when it is when the House resolution is adopted in the House, then the staff can then update this and say, we've got a resolution, and then say this is HCOP resolution 115, just to inform the user. They put the relevant information and submit that. Now you can see now this is like at the end of the process, and now all they need to do is, if there's any other thing, for instance, if they want to attach the minutes of their House when the report was adopted, if they want to attach other documents, that they can attach those here, and that goes to the user, and then they can complete the process. And then this is under resolution NCOP 115, I think I said. But they can put all of those comments there and submit, and that's the end of the process. That then takes you through this whole workflow that I showed you until the workflow is complete. Now you'll notice that now, if the user goes there, they'll see now that the process is now complete, and there's a House resolution, and that's the end of the process. That time, all the other petitioners, because now there's 16 petitions there, all the other petitioners, the only real update they get is where the petition is, not the details of of the petition. We did speak to the two houses to say maybe at this stage you want to attach the report so that the people that are seeing this can actually read a report about this petition. But they'll come back to us on that. I think I'm done, Chair. If there's any questions, I'm ready to take them.
Chairperson. I thought you are not on the line, Chair. But thank you. Okay. No, thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, maybe let me appreciate the initiative and the extent of work that has been put by the team. Really, this will help us, will help more into communities who normally wants to communicate with Parliament on matters that concerns them a lot. But Chair, prior to petitions being referred to us, as maybe to the NCOP or either the NA, there should be steps that has been followed. Maybe if it's a matter that is from the province and referred to us, there should be steps that should have been followed by the petitioners. So I just want to check as whether the background covers that. So as we don't find ourselves being bombarded with a lot of petitions, because now we would have opened the gates for communities to raise their petitions to us. And the other matter that I want to just get an understanding with regard to, I just want to get clarity that as much as we are introducing the e-petition, we also do have we still have communities that the literacy level is very low. And I believe the e-petition does not do away at all with the manual paper petition, the old traditional way of petitioning us. So I believe that is not taking over that as much as we want to go green. And I know this e-petitioning, it's easy for us to communicate back since it was a challenge for us as a committee. And just one question now on the system directly. I just want to check as to whether the system allows the user to, in case, let's for instance, maybe a user, it is an after hour, I'm just citing an example so that it be easy. Maybe it's an after hour, I want to petition the NCOP and I've managed to go up to step level 3. And am I able, does the system automatically save, or by the time that I come the next day to complete, will I start again? Will the user start again? Or what is the situation? Thank you very much, Chair. I think that was all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Midupi. I also know the hand of Honorable Mzamo. Presenters, I'm trusting that you are able to capture those questions and inputs, and then you will give us a response. Honorable Billy, over to you.
No, thank you, Chair. Maybe let me join my colleague, Honorable Madupe, in welcoming the presentation. I do think this is a step in the right direction. I think we've spoken about it. Even though it sort of begins the process of e-petitioning, I think where it is done, in a similar way, it goes further in such a way that when the petition is completed, online, there are certain steps which are taken, perhaps not in terms of the operations, but in terms of legislative steps, which this is not speaking to, and obviously will not speak to, because there are legislative requirements or amendments that we need to deal with. Hence, we are looking into this. I think the last time we spoke about this, I mentioned how the UK Parliament deals with petitions and how it is processed when it comes through, when it's about 100, what steps are followed, when it's 100,000 signatures, what legislative steps are followed in terms of debate in the House, in terms of processing in terms of Parliament. So maybe that is not for this process. I think what this process does is simply to speak to the existing legislative process, which is obviously a correct step. But I think we do have a responsibility as legislators to now really try and ease up the process and make it much more simpler and quicker in terms of response and processing by Parliament, and then obviously marry that with this new innovation, and perhaps even enhance it in making it easier, simpler, as the Honorable Matupe said. We want people even in the deep rural areas to be able to access this, even if it means the website is or that page is a free link, where even if you don't have data, you can be able to log in and still be able to go through the process in a very simpler way for even people that may not have formal schooling, or who might not be familiar with computers and so on. So I think, Chairperson, it is a step in the right direction, but I'm glad that we are going to look into this, as we did commit in our previous strategic plannings, and we will definitely work alongside this form of innovation that's been put in place. That's my input, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Billy. I also see the hand of Honorable Pala. Over to you, Rep Pala. Rep Pala, can you unmute? Over to you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. It's still morning. Good day, honorable members and support staff. Chair, let me join my colleagues and really appreciate the presentation by the officials. Well done. This is a good thing to do. The Chinese proverb says a journey of 1,000 miles start with the first mile. This is the first mile. We really appreciate it. As Honorable Mudubi indicated about the rural masses of our people, who really need to be educated on this type of engagement, but I think it will be done. When the cell phone started, some people had some, in fact, many of us had some doubts. But today, everybody can use the cell phone, and I think also the system. When time goes by, people will understand, and they'll be able to use it. And I just want to say, well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pala. Is there any other member? I'm not seeing any other hand on the platform. In absence of that, let me also just express my appreciation. And indeed, Rapala, it's a step in the right direction. It's also going to assist us. You rightfully say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins on one step, and slowly and surely, our expressions or our things that you wanted to see happening in this committee, we are moving in the right direction. There's a lot of stuff, and I think Honorable Billy touched on it in terms of the looking at legislation and how petitions will influence legislation in Parliament. As we are lawmakers, our job is to make law, and petition is also one mechanism that can be used to review or amend legislation, or even introduce new legislation given. One thing from my side, team, when we were presenting, there was a portion where you were showing us the different committees, and I'm referring specifically for the NCOP. There was a memorandum that came out from the Office of the House Chair, Honorable Refilwe, and their communication was saying all petitions that are coming to the NCOP, because in one of your slots, there's a section where a person can petition NA or petition the NCOP. For the NCOP, those petitions are going to be dealt by this committee. I think that is just one point I wanted just also to raise there. And I just, in summary, also what Honorable Mitupi was saying, very important that we want to have it on record that the existing mechanism won't be dealt away, because there are people who still petition Parliament, and as part of a demonstration, they can petition Parliament and bring their petition manually. So, and some can still do the email, want to find out in terms of that one being in place. And particularly a team from ICT and the people who are working on the system, when will this thing go live? I think for me, it's important. Maybe we can get an indication when it will go live. And another aspect that Honorable Billy spoke about, where we know that data charges in South Africa are very expensive. And when you saw the system, you will find that maybe a petition, it has gone, there's a lot of letters. There are people who are, when the petitioners, they've done their homework. They've got a lot of paper trail. They have submitted, and as you said, maybe they might also have had a court documentation that they will want to put in support of their petition. Now, those whole stuff, to load them and upload them, it takes a lot of data. I would just like to give a sense and a view in terms of how we can make sure that the platform it's free, that even though you don't have data on your phone, when everything, you are able to still lodge your petition. And there was a portion where you said that the petitioner will refresh, they log out and then they log in. Then in the status, they will see the new status. And then the last box, there's a one that says view action. And I wanted to know that in the view action, for example, what the reports, can the petition see the report? Because remember, there's a report that will come from the committee. And then that report must go to the NCOP in the House. Are the petitioners able to see that it's still in raw form? It's not yet an adopted report of the NCOP, but are they able to see that? And I think it's a very good thing that when petitioners, maybe they might not be able to log in to go see the status, they will be able to still receive those emails that updates them every time there is a movement on their petition. Number two, also importantly, there's an SMS update. So those communication channels, it's a welcome approach. There is no way you will miss movement on your petition. And I think that is also something that you need to commend so that they can track every step. So even if you didn't log out or you forgot to log on onto the parliamentary website, your email will alert you. If you do not having, maybe you have charged out your email, your SMS will alert you. So I think that is very important. And then those will be our questions. It will be very appreciated if the presenters, they can respond to some of those inputs and some of those questions. Over to you, Tim.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I hope I've covered everything, but if I miss something, please just remind me. Okay, in the process that we've shown you, remember the process goes over a number of months. So this is just the automated part. So there's quite a bit of work that happens in the background. So whatever background work was required, it's still required. All that needs to happen is at specific intervals. When there's a status change, you need to then update everything so that everyone is on the same page. So that background work that the honorable member was talking about will still apply. Nothing changes there. And then just in terms of, I think, Chair, you've covered that, this is not a replacement for, it's not going to be the only avenue of lodging petitions. This is just an additional way of doing it. But of course, we're hoping that it will become, because of its ease of use, it will end up becoming the de facto. But no, the manual process is not gonna, it's not being replaced. Just in terms of the save, currently, if you are, you do, the process is quite simple. If you have all your documents ready, you just, because most of the things are just uploaded. So we don't have a save function where you come back and work on it, but we are working on it. So there'll soon be a release for that save to cover that. But currently it's not there. Then the point about, we have looked at other parliaments in terms of e-petitions. The UK is one of those that we've studied quite a bit, and as well as the Australian Parliament as well. It is quite because in terms of the flow, it sort of looks the same. So we did have a feature for people to support the petition, but I think for this phase, it's not there, because I think there's other processes that also need to align first before that kind of thing can be implemented. But when needed, we'll be ready to include it, the signatures for petition. And then just in terms of the data issue, I think the chair also inquired about it. I'm not sure where the process is, but I do know that ICT together with the Office of the STP were busy trying to negotiate with the network service provider so that not just specific areas of the website, but the whole parliamentary website is you don't need data to access it. I'm not sure where that process is, but I know there was that initiative. I can find out about that, but there was, I think, when we still had Ms. Giao, we were already negotiating with the service providers. Okay, then I think I can just thank the honorable members who are encouraging us on this initiative. Thank you for your support. Then the part about we only found out when we were already live, but we are working on it. That the NA and the NCOP works differently, where the NCOP only has everything consolidated into one committee. But I know there's talk on the NA as well to see what can be done there. But it would be great if there was a committee that basically focuses on this. But we are that part we've spoken to the administrators. We'll automate that so that if you are in the SOP, you don't need to choose a committee. You just refer to a committee and it automatically goes to the specific committee. So we are dealing with that. Then I think the chair also asked if the public can see the committee report. I think I did mention this, that we were of the opinion that at this stage, maybe let me just show my screen. I think we were of the opinion that maybe when things are still being done and in progress, maybe there's no reason to, but when the petition is done, we don't see why you can't. Here, when you click on this, you can then also see the report, because the report will cover the whatever came with the petition and the resolutions and everything else. So I think it's a good consolidated way of informing the public, so that even if you were thinking of petitioning along those lines, then you can actually see a petition that has actually done what you were thinking of petitioning. So yeah, we did ask the tables if we can do that, and when they say yes, we'll be ready to just attach that report. Maybe just the final report, so that you only communicate the final product. I hope I've covered everything, Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Msichana. I think you have covered that. It's important that we get that information. Honorable members, thank you very much for your participation. And I think the one with the Mr. Mkiza, and I hope you are noting this one, the making parliamentary website free. It is very important, and I think we'll have just to inquire and follow up with the office of the STP, particularly what issues like where people are engaging on serious ways to petition Parliament or to lodge a bill, whatever they might need. We must make Parliament accessible. That even though your economic circumstance is different, or you are not able to maybe have those resources, but Parliament will be a safe space where you can be able to access it at no cost to you. I see them some hands that are coming through. I can feel Renowe, one of our members. Honorable Noe, over to you. I see your hand is up. Honorable Pitso Noe. Okay, if we are struggling, Mr. Zanisile, I see your hand is also up.
Hello, Chair.
Okay, you can proceed, Renowe.
So sorry, my Chair, I was struggling to find my speaker here. Chair, it just a cross-cutting question, which I think maybe for all of us it is important to check with Parliament whether they do, for such a very valuable information, cascade it or engage with our field workers in the PCOs in some way or another, or through the Chief Whip's office, just to make sure that, because our PC office get visited by members of the community with different complaints or asking for information. I think this is one information that needs to be, be at available to our field workers. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Renowe. Mr. Msichana, before you come, I think the only one that you might have missed that came from me, when will this thing go live? And then maybe Honorable Noe, just to definitely follow up with the office of the Chief Whip and hear that part. But remember that we are in the background, we're drafting a program that we agreed on, that we are now as a proactive exercise, we will on a regular basis do public awareness and take this information out there. And even sometimes I think we are also going to engage with the PCS, the communication services, that on their social media, this information must be communicated on the social media page, that there is now this new function that you can access. And I think, and as well as us as members of this committee, we must raise it. And members who are, when they are doing their constituency work, when they are in their PCOs, they must take this information out there. It must not be for us to know. We must take it out so that South Africans are able to utilize and petition Parliament. Mr. Zanzibar, I'm going to give you a last bite before I wrap and close the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Yes, I was raising my hand because I realized I didn't answer you as to go live. The system is ready. It's ready for use, but we're just busy with all the work that you've just now alluded to. For instance, we engaging with firstly, we're just trying to get the people that are going to be using it in the background to be comfortable using it. So we're doing some training sessions there. And then there's also some PCS is looking at how they'll be marketing it. And there's also talk about, involving public education to see how to disseminate this kind of information so that when we go live, everyone's ready and we can move. So that's basically the situation. I think it will be announced quite soon, but the system itself is ready.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that information. Thank you very much for that. And thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for facilitating this meeting for us. Thank you, team, our committee researcher. I see you also here, Ms. Namhla. I'm going to mention you by name every time. I made a commitment to you. I also see that Ms. Fakir is also here. My secretary, thank you very much for that. And all officials who are assisting us, the table staff, particularly ICT, I really appreciate this. We are going to hold hands and move forward. My request that I had made was to say that we must probably just will just be guided by PCS. Maybe the committee, even though it's not entirely, that when we do that marketing, we can just do a short official launch, so to say, so that we also as a committee, we can own up this process. And I will be engaging with the PCS to do that. So members, just be on the lookout on emails, and the WhatsApp messages, that we might just have to do a small launch, where we communicate to the media to say, I mean to the public as well, that this function is there, people can access it, and we as a committee are ready to take your petitions forward. So there will be a small program that will be organizing a form of an official launch of the e-petition system. Honorable members, without further ado, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day.
That is supported.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Honorable Nowen. This meeting stands adjourned. Enjoy the rest of the day. And for those who will be seeing each other later. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.